What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with the definitive Rogue Company tier list. So this tier list is specifically around single life game modes, but some of these same ideas and principles can be applied to respawn game modes. So we're going to start out first here with Anvil. Anvil is classified as a defender. His main ability, which is his shield, is very, very situational, and you have to be very knowledgeable of where to put this. He has access to LMGs and shotguns, which gives him a ton of range and also close quarters combat potential. His ability to lock down a point and sustain tons of damage makes him very lethal in the right hands. So for this, Anvil goes into the B tier. Next up is another defender in Canon. His ability is very powerful yet easily countered. His passive ability is very inconsistent and needs a little bit of a rework. He has a decent perk set that helps him stay in the fight, but at the end of the day, he is a very situational rogue. With that, Canon is going into the C tier. Chalk is a very, very tanky and fast rogue, especially when paired with his ability. He has access to SMGs and shotguns for great close quarters potential, and his ability to be used as a breacher with Simtex and flashbangs makes him an invaluable resource to have on your team. So for that, Chalk is going into the S tier. Next up is Dahlia. She is one of two actual supports that are currently in the game. She has access to DMRs and SMGs, which provides incredible range and also close quarters potential. Ability to not only take the passive of the rogue she is paired with, but also the speed and toughness could make her faster or tanky than most rogues that are currently in the game. So for this, Dahlia is going into the S tier. Dallas is coming in with a duelist role. His ability to reveal rogues is invaluable. Paired with his passive ability, creates a nice synergy that can be very deadly in the right hands. He has access to DMRs and ARs, which gives him great long-range potential. His stems provide a little bit of survivability, while his incendiaries provide lane denial and the ability to also secure downs, which feeds back into that synergy. So with this, Dallas is coming in at an S tier. Next up is Dima. He is classified as a breacher. His ability can provide a ton of damage output if it is used and positioned correctly. He has access to DMRs and ARs, which provide tons of long-range potential. His EMPs are very situational, and frag grenades require more skill than most lethal gadgets. So for this, Dima is coming in at the B tier. Next up, another breacher in Glitch. Glitch's ability can be very devastating to an enemy team, but EMP grenades can do what Glitch does and do it even better. He has access to SMGs and shotguns, which provides a ton of close quarters combat potential. His flashbangs and Simtex can not only help breach a site, but also defend a site with the ability to control the battlefield. Because of this, Glitch is coming in at an A tier. Next up, Glimpse. She is classified as a duelist. Her ability can be very powerful in the right hands, as it has a very steep learning curve to be fully effective, but her passive ability is where Glimpse really shines as a character. She has access to SMGs and ARs, which provides a ton of range and also close quarters combat potential. Pop Smoke pairs nicely with her main ability, but doesn't offer as many benefits to the team as other non-lethal gadgets. Because of this, Glimpse is coming in at an A tier. Kestrel, who's classified as a duelist, received a major buff recently to her primary ability, which makes her a little bit more of a viable rogue to use, but the access to the perks that she has does not increase her survivability. She has access to ARs and SMGs, which provides a ton of range and close quarters potential, but her gadgets leave much to be desired after the gadget cooldown system was introduced. Because of this, Kestrel is going into the B tier. Next up is Lancer. She is also classified as a duelist. Her ability is very powerful and her passive is the best in Rogue Company, but the toughness system made her very much a glass cannon. Access to SMGs and shotguns provide a ton of close quarters combat potential, especially with access to the Simtech grenades. Perks allow for more speed and survivability, yet the need to get in close to deal damage makes her very high risk, very high reward, and the fact that most people know how Lancers play in single life game modes definitely puts her into a B tier. Next up is Mac. He is classified as a defender. His ability is useless in most situations, but the passive ability provides incredible benefits if the enemy team isn't prepared for it. He has access to LMGs and SMGs, which gives him a lot of close and also long-range combat potential. He has a decent perk set, and access to frag grenades and APS allow him to lock down a site, but not as well as some of the other defenders. And for this, he is going into the C tier. Next up is Phantom. She is classified as a duelist. Her ability provides a ton of benefits in the right hands, but her passive ability is where she really shines in single life game modes. She has access to sniper rifles and ARs, which gives her a ton of range. She has a great perk set and access to frag grenades and sticky sensors, which allow her to be explosive in the right hands, but she excels, in my opinion, while using an AR over a sniper rifle because of that passive ability. For this, Phantom is going into the B tier. Next up is Ronin. She is classified as another duelist. Her ability is incredible in the right hands. It is very versatile, but very heavily skill based. Passive ability is very situational depending on which rogues you're playing against. Access to SMGs and ARs give her that long range and close quarter potential. Frag grenades are very skill based to use at their highest potential, while smoke grenades provides a ton of benefits to the team as a whole. Because of this, Ronin is coming in at an A tier. Next up is Runway. She is classified as a support, even though she isn't technically a support. Her ability provides incredible benefits to the team, but will require people to relearn after gadget cooldown system was introduced into the game. The passive is incredible, but she is sadly not an actual support. She has access to ARs and sniper rifles at the same time, which provides a ton of potential for this rogue specifically. Perks are decent, but access to Semtex and trip mines can turn the tides of battle if placed in the correct locations. For this, Runway is going into the A tier. Next up is Saint. He is a support rogue, one of the two only support rogues in the game. His main ability and passive ability provides invaluable benefits to the team. He is also an actual support, which allows him to be able to revive people that are down, which is incredible. He has access to ARs and DMRs, which provides range potential, and his incredible perks feed into his ability, which provides a nice synergy for the character himself. So for this, Saint is going into the S tier. Next up is Scorch. She is classified as a duelist. Her ability provides some benefits to the team, but her passive ability is what makes her crucial in objective-based game modes. She has access to SMGs and shotguns, which makes her very close quarters dependent. Her perk set is decent, and access to both incendiary grenades and EMP grenades makes her very flexible for any type of situation that you're going into. Because of this, Scorch is going into the S tier. Next up is Seeker. He is also classified as a support character. His ability provides invaluable benefits to the team, while his passive leaves much to be desired. He has access to DMRs and ARs, which gives him great long-range potential. He has a decent perk set, but toughness system makes him very squishy, which requires you to buy other perks. So for this, Seeker is going into the A tier. Next up is Sigrid. She is classified as a breacher. Her ability is very good, especially if you have nobody on the enemy team to counter it. Her passive ability leaves much to be desired. She has access to SMGs and shotguns, which provides all of the close quarters combat potential. She has an incredible perk set along with Semtex and Stems, which makes her great at pushing and controlling points. So for this, Sigrid is coming in at an A tier. Next up is Switchblade. She is also classified as a breacher. Her ability allows lane denial and controls the objective, while her passive allows her to move more quickly into positioning, but her toughness system makes her more of a glass cannon. She has access to ARs and SMGs, which is very flexible depending on the type of gunfights that you are engaging in. She has a decent perk set along with bounce grenades and flashbangs, which gives great pushing potential if you can survive the push itself. So for this, Switchblade is going into the C tier. Next up is Talon. Talon is classified as a duelist. His ability provides invaluable intel about enemy positioning, while the passive ability leaves much to be desired since utility is no longer dropped and you can no longer pull the actual bomb itself. He has access to DMRs and SMGs, which gives him great long-range potential. He has a decent perk set with access to flashbangs and C4. The C4 leaves much to be desired, but flashbangs are great at controlling or pushing sights. Because of this, Talon is going into the B tier. Next up, Fixer. who is also a defender. His ability is very situational depending on how many smokes are being played on the field. Passive provides benefits to the team, but can throw you off if you're not expecting that passive to be triggered. He has access to DMRs and sniper rifles, which gives him that great range potential. He has a decent perk set with access to the cluster smoke and the C4. The C4, of course, leaves much to be desired, but the cluster smoke allows for tons of cover while pushing an objective or rotating into the enemy line. Because of this, Fixer is coming in at an A tier. Next up is Trench. He is also a defender. His ability provides a ton of lane denial, but inconsistent breaking of ability leaves much to be desired. His passive ability is incredible and benefits the entire team. He has access to DMRs and ARs, which provides a ton of range. He also has access to incredible perks, which allows him impressive survivability with access to APS and trip mines. APS is invaluable to the team in both defense and offense, while the trip mines provide some benefit on flake routes. For this, Trench is coming in at an A tier. Next up is Umbra. He is classified as a duelist. His ability is easily counterable and normally dodgeable. His passive ability provides decent benefits to Umbra, but not to the rest of the team. He has access to DMRs and SMGs, which provides tons of long range and close quarters potential. He also has access to decent perk set along with the bounce grenade and the tear gas, which provides decent push or point control, but other gadgets outclass both of these. Because of this, Umbra is coming in at a B tier. Last up here, Vi, who is classified as a defender. Her ability provides a ton of zone control and lane denial. Her passive ability provides decent benefits to Vi, but it doesn't provide any to the rest of the team. She has access to ARs and shotguns, so you're very flexible at what role you're playing. And her incredible perk set with access to incendiaries and tear gas allows tons of zone and point control while also denying lanes if needed. And because of this, Vi is coming in at an S tier. And how could we forget about the newest rogue that was added into the game, Juke? She is classified as a defender. Her ability provides more than just an annoyance. It also provides reasonable intel on where enemies are located and if enemies are flanking by using very strategic placing. Her passive ability is a neat trick that loses its fun fairly quickly, as it has no real practical use in a match. She has access to SMGs and LMGs, which makes her a very versatile rogue at all ranges. She has a decent set of perks with access to 2 new gadgets with the impact grenade and the reflector. The impact grenade is great for initiating a push or stopping someone from pushing you, while the reflector provides some benefits but is more of an annoyance than something that can turn the tides of battle. So with this, Juke is coming in as a B tier rogue. So be sure to let me know what you think of this tier list in the comments down below. Do you agree with this tier list, or are there some rogues that you would actually swap out with a couple of other rogues? Be sure to let me know. Also, be sure to check the description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Also, there is a link in the description for the most recent giveaway, so please be sure to check out that link and also share it around to as many people as humanly possible. Last up here, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube, so if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.